Jeroen van den Berg, who is the main tournament organizer of Wijk aan Zee, still the beginning, more or less.
Well, I started my career in 1984, but this was in the press service team. I started as a board boy, and in 1999 I got the question whether I wanted to be tournament director, and yes, I wanted that, I said. And so the first tournament that was with me as a director was the tournament in 2000 when Kasparov was still playing here in Wijk aan Zee. He played 3 times, and I was all the 3 times there, and 2 of them I was director.
Was it at the time when it still was Hoogoven Wijk aan Zee, or already Chorus Wijk aan Zee?
No, I think it was actually in 1999 it was still Hoogovens, and in 2000 the name changed into Chorus. So actually I have never been director of the Hoogovens tournament, although I realize this only now.
Okay, but with this long history, you know every top player, every superstar in this history of chess. No? Who was the most difficult player to deal with?
But then you mean as a director for me?
Yes.
In my period as a director. Not so many. I once said it to Kasparov after he already quit chess, that I learned a lot from him. Because in the first year that he was here, I was already his kind of bodyguard. I was not yet director, but I was his contact person for if something would not be wrong. So that was in the tournament of 1999. But there were no problems at all. He was in a good mood every day. He played very well. He won this beautiful game against Topalov. People are still talking about it. It was here. 1999 he played it.
Yeah, and it was on the same date, no? It was 20...
that's...
I think it was on the same date like today.
This I don't know by heart, sorry, we can check it. It's possible, against Topalov. Famous game. Of course, he was very charismatic, so there were some small issues, but in general, he was very happy with the tournament, I had the impression. But in 2000, my first year as a director, he was not in a good mood. So he was complaining every day, or more or less every day, no interviews. We had this public prize then, that the audience in the commentary room would vote for the best game of the day. And he never won it, but it's typical Dutch style because he's already winning everything. Why also the public prize? So they gave it to some other people, and it made him very angry. So in that tournament he was not really in a good mood, but he was still Kasparov and he was still winning, of course. And then the third year was maybe the most difficult one for me with Gary, because then he was both. Sometimes he was in a good mood and sometimes he was in a bad mood. So it was not so easy for me to see or
the
mention
good guy or the bad guy.
But later, when I met him abroad, also for new editions or whatever, we had always good terms. So there was nothing wrong. It was also a bit Kasparov, maybe that he was nervous while playing. And very much later, when he had this book, Winter in America, I was in a presentation in Amsterdam, where I live, and then I told him this story, that actually I learned the job being director from him, because I was still quite young for a director, and we are both the same age, Gary and I. And I told him this story. He had never realized this, which I find is very logical. But basically it's true. He learned me the job in 3 years' time. Then I realized there is always something happening with the top players. And then he wrote a very nice and warm message in the book that was presented. And he was even speaking about the warmth of Wijk aan Zee. But his favorite tournament was Linares. Other top players, I had Carlsen in the event for 19 years. Almost only in 2014 he did not play. But with him I had not so many problems. Sometimes small issues. But really big issues I never faced, not that I can remember. And even with Kasparov, when I look back, it was also not that big. It was typical Kasparov, how he was.
Yeah, but in 2000 he was before his World Championship match against Kramnik. Maybe this was the reason?
Yeah, but I'm a chess player myself, and also in organization I realized that when you are the best in your sports, also in chess, you are on a higher level, and more tension than normal players, than average players. So this is... what I understand.
What is unique here in Wijk aan Zee is the fact that you have the super player and you have the normal chess player who play this tournaments, amateur tournaments, and also are the spectators for the super tournament. Also, this is a unique event for chess, and now it's copied by other organizers, Prague, for example.
Yeah, I think we are not unique anymore, but let's say in essence, in the heart, this is still quite not, let's say, a situation that you see in each or in every top level tournament. So it's audience, amateur players and the professionals in the same room, and then we have a bar next door where we also have live commentary on the games, also in a bar, which is also not so normal in other events. But okay, in Wijk aan Zee is such a small village, only 2,000 people living here, so you have to be creative with the space that you have. It's also kind of a forced situation that we have. What to do if this sports hall goes down or something? A few years ago there was a fire here. Can you imagine if this disappears? There was a fire here. There was some problem with. So there was also a shock, but it happened in February, so we had time to reconstruct it again in time.
As what before the tournament or now
after the tournament? Yeah. It was not while we had the tournament.
And this year you had some problems to start the tournament in time because there was kind of demonstration.
Yeah, correct.
Not against the tournament, but somehow.
No, the Tata Steel, the sponsor and owner of the tournament, is let's say they have some issues with with environment, CO2, all kind of climate issues, and so there are a lot of people demonstrating against Tata Steel, which is allowed in the Netherlands. But it was kind of new that the protest was so huge and then affecting our tournament instead of the company. We have had it before in 24 also in the last round, but then it was not so big as this year.
Same organization?
No, it was something else, another organization. This one is quite big and quite famous, and they were with more than 100 people, so it was quite serious. And of course it was a surprise. But I think in general, the players reacted quietly in a sense that they knew that this can happen. This is already, I warned them already before the start of the tournament that it can happen. Yeah, we know, it's already since a couple of years that we know about it, and sometimes it happens, sometimes not. But the company is completely used to this, that it can happen. Also at their site, I mean, where they have the factory. But players were quite, how to say, of course they were not so happy because suddenly you have to wait for 1.5 hours. You cannot go out because the question is, can you also come back? Because they had blocked the entrance. But also funny was one of the Indian players asked me when I finally came into the playing hall myself and see how everybody was doing. Then one of the Indians asked me, what do you think? Will it happen tomorrow again? And then I said, no, this maybe, but it can happen nowadays. It's not pleasant for us as an organization, and I felt very sorry for the players, but somehow they accepted the situation. It was
And the demonstrant put a lot of coal before the entry. And what did you make with this coal?
Steel is being made by coal. You need coal as a basic thing, and that's what is not good for the environment. So that is the reason why they did it, I think, to make the point.
How did you get rid of it?
Well, I think somebody took it away.
Okay, you have not.
No, that's not my task.
Okay.
I'm only for chess, not for logistics.
Yeah, okay. And we have this very long history of this chess tournament starting
1938.
38, and it's still existing. And maybe can you a little bit about the history, some interesting points or highlights?
You mean the first one?
Yeah,
for instance? The first one has a funny story because it started all as an, let's say, kind of fun event to have a break in work time during lunch. And then it was the first Hoogovens chess tournament in 38.
For the workers?
Yeah, no, they did it themselves.
Yeah,
so
okay,
it was not professional. There was only 4 players, I think. So they did it. It was more serious than just a fun tournament. Yeah, but then a bit more serious than really fun. So the players were quite strong. But it also had to do with Max Euwe, the world champion, only Dutch world champion we had in 35. So then chess became more popular in the Netherlands. But I think after 38, already after 1 or 2 years, the tournament became stronger. So even Max Euwe himself was already playing then and winning. And then I think somewhere at end 40s, early 50s, it only also became more international. Because first the Belgians came and the Germans came, our neighbor countries. And then, well, in the 50s it grew to what it is now.
And you have also an interesting concept for the invitation. So you have this A tournament or Masters tournament. You have the strongest player, and but you have these challengers with an interesting mix from old people, young people, talents, women, and how this concept was created.
Well, this is something that I started, let's say, already quite a while ago. And sometimes it works better than other times, but I love very much the mix, as you say. And the mix is actually better to realize in the Challengers group than in the Masters group. Because in the Masters group I also have to think about elite players. We also want to be a very strong tournament. But in the Challengers group I have more space for creative ideas. So this year Ivanchuk in the Challengers group, for instance, is quite nice for the chess fans. That he wanted to play himself actually, so he asked me to play, and I was a bit hesitating even. Well, is that you won the Masters tournament in '96? You have been top 5 in the world for many years. No, but he loved Wijk aan Zee and he said, I want to come back to Wijk aan Zee, but I know I cannot play the Masters. Please put me in the Challengers. Is it possible? Well, then it's easy to say yes, obviously.
Also, some people asked you, can I play?
Yeah, that happens more.
Other people you can invite?
I get many requests. I have to make choices.
They want to play here, They want to play.
No, there are also players, of course, maybe who don't like Wijk aan Zee so much. I also have to be honest, and I know even some players who... let's say a couple of years ago I tried several times to invite Alexander Grishuk back in the Masters. But he doesn't like here so much. He prefers to play in the city. Like he wants to go where it's more life. Wijk aan Zee for him is extremely boring because there is nothing to do. But most of the players like it because there is nothing to do. You can only focus on chess, and when you go out to have a dinner, everything is about chess here for 2.5 weeks. And even the new generation seems to like this. Although I must say that, for instance, players like Gukesh, I think he's only in his hotel room and here. That's it.
Okay. And
for instance, Magnus also went to the restaurants.
Magnus is a record winner, no? Of the Masters.
Yes, by far.
Do you think he will come back sometime to Wijk, or not so good chances?
I was close this year actually for this year's edition, which was a big surprise. But suddenly I had I was in contact with his father, and suddenly I smelled a chance that he could play. So then I tried, and there was a chance. But after his child was born in September, he decided, okay, this is maybe a little bit too much. So he declined. But for 1 or 2 months we were thinking at least. And then his father told me Magnus has said that he has not yet played his last Wijk aan Zee tournament. So there is hope.
Okay, so when his child is in school then...
Yeah, maybe. But knowing Magnus, I don't think he will come here, let's say, to play for 5th or 6th place, He's so ambitious. So
yeah, sure.
We also, and I don't know, we all know that he doesn't like classical chess anymore. It's what is said. But let's wait and see. Maybe it's not, let's say, there is still a kind of opening that he will come back here.
Yeah, and okay, we in Germany are of course very happy that we have 2 German players here in the Masters tournament. This is a novelty, no?
But Blühbaum is so far so good.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah.
Okay.
He played here before, but then in the Challengers. But in here, he's so well. Okay, it's only 3 rounds.
Yeah, maybe he's a Masters player, not a Challenger player.
Yeah, maybe that's. But so far, so good. He impresses.
Yeah. Can you say something about the possible future? Is this will there be a future? Is this next year? Of course, I think, or is there a limit or?
No, there has been years, let's say that Tata Steel always said, okay, we will now prolong the tournament for at least 3 more years. Mm-hmm. Once they even said at least 5 more years, but now they don't do it anymore. Mm-hmm. And sometimes people, journalists or friends or whatever say, well, how long is the tournament guaranteed?
Yeah.
Well, I think that it's now for forever. The people that I speak to in the company, they are very ambitious in making 100 editions. So if they don't collapse, for whatever reason, I think it's now, you don't need the period, it will be there.
Okay,
forever.
They created a new Tata Steel tournament, another one
in India. Already 7th editions this year, but I think that here in the Netherlands we are more or less safe. So with the tournament, so no worries for the future.
Fantastic information. Okay. Many thanks.
Okay.